What's up, Virgo? This is Christian, and I'm here to do a reading for you. I was going to say the name, a animal spirit oracle deck reading that's timeless for you guys. I think these names of these videos is so like, I'm like, oh, why do I have to name this? I wish you guys can just know what was on my mind, because I have to come up with the names. I'm like, what am I going to name this video? I want to say to all of the people, all of the Virgos that I love, or something like that. But it's YouTube, and I can't do it like that. You're probably like in your Virgo way, like, yeah, that's not a good plan. Doesn't make sense. I'm low. But um yeah, I just wanted to do a reading today from these different animal decks, just to give an ode to kind of like to nature and to animals, and to reminding us to kind of get outside and make sure that we're still trying to take in the beauty and bask in the beauty that is nature, but also what it does for us on a on many levels. I guess it's many. It's not even one. It's like health wise, emotionally, spiritually. Like, you have to really get in the sun. So just thought I'd bring a little bit of nature into this little community. All right. Now we're gonna start off with okay, what you that one just jump out fast, I think that we can just get so caught up in our work sometimes that we just kind of forget to just take a minute to pay homage to what this the beauty of earth, and I feel it. Like, I feel like yeah, this right here is this it's like an illusion that deals with like, if I don't, the rat race. This is the rat race. That's what I feel. It's like this fear that if I don't work, I won't have any money, and if I don't do this, so I can't, so I have to stay here and I have to do this, and then we kind of get tricked into not going outside for 6 or 7 months. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just kind of like, don't let that fear of stopping into to tune into the rhythms of life. Don't let the money, the pursuit of things, take you away from that, and keep you away from looking at nature, because it must be something there, if something would try to keep you away from that makes you excel, or that makes you great. And don't, just keep that in mind, like, footnote that. But other than that, this is surrounded a lot, about you guys feeling these feelings of lack, and the fear of not having, the fear that you may not have. It always ends up making you not have. And this is kind of something that Spirit is wanting me to kind of bring to the forefront of the chat, to the front of the chat, because you don't have to sit this way. These things are available to you, so you don't have to sit in lack. It's just a matter of redirection and being able to open up and seek, and seek out things, because seek out help, because I think that it's this fear of exposing yourself, that maybe you have flaws too, that kind of thing, because everybody expects you to be so well put together, and you have to be just dot, end that with whatever you want to, because it doesn't matter. It's just something that you feel responsible for. And what it does is it just makes you get in these situations to where when things get bad, you can't really speak, you can't really say it, like it's a pride thing. So it makes you kind of sit without, when you really could have, if you would ask. If you would ask for more. And when I say ask for more, I don't mean literally, but that too, like work, it can be something like that, but demanding more out of people, that's what I mean. Expecting more out of people. And I want to say what it is expecting more out of people and expecting less of yourself. I typically wouldn't say that, but I think that it's like it's a little imbalanced, It's almost like, that's what I kind of feel like. It's almost like people can kind of get away with things, but you can't get away with things for yourself. Remember what I was saying? It was like a pride thing, like the lion right here. This is like this pride, and you can really get out of the get out of that this space if you kind of didn't take life so serious. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of what the lion can do whenever you know, it can be hyper vigilant, like thinking that everything is, the world is crumbling down, and then your biggest fear actually happens when you know the world is crumbling down, and it's really not. But from your perspective, like it's just like this: if you're like, it's a rainy day, like you say it's a rainy day, and then you know you're like, it's like the end of the world, and then it's really above those clouds, those rain clouds, or clouds where it's really not raining. That's just your perspective. So that's kind of what life will show you when you kind of walking down that street, where you look at life, you know, with that lens. So you have to make sure you keep yourself out of that space for sure. Okay. But yeah, these fears around this value, you know, like our energy, fears around energy, like I don't have enough to give. That's kind of the feeling that I'm kind of getting, like low energy, like not low energy in a negative way, but like you kind of need to, it's like the wells, like you need to be hydrated, and you know, and drink water, and you need to kind of allow yourself to heal a little bit in this space, you know, and to kind of fill it out. The moon is not always bad. It's not always fear. It's just that I feel like it can be a very, very intuitive time with you, where you can really, really get in touch with your body and in touch with earth and back in the cycles of you know, nature. But that father energy, that headstrong energy, it doesn't it brings that in there, because it can't just sit there. It has to say, well, what about the money? And then you dig up those fears. Or what about the time when you didn't have this when you were 9? And then you dig up those fears in that moon energy, and then the moon energy makes you have to fight them, because anything you think of in this space, it becomes the thing. So you can't say it, because it's like a level of a game where you can't, or a magical world where you can, everything can be magical, you can know everything. But also too, if you talk in this space, not literally talk, but if you kind of, if you bring this energy into this very feminine receptive state place, like the moon, then you're bound to mess it up, because you're gonna go on a rampage, because you're not gonna be able to understand it, and you think that you will. So don't bring these things in here, because they become the monsters, and then you kind of get stuck out in the you know, rolling in the deep, and you kind of stuck out, and you can't find your way back out of this place of like defeat and lack, and where you feel like you're not that great. So don't bring anything into the moon energy. Just observe, watch your surroundings, watch what's going on. You really, really sit there and be quiet and let the movie play all the way through. And that's how you get this knowledge that takes you to the next level, because it's something that you might be missing. You might be thinking that it's fear, and spirit is like, no, go back to this thing so that we can pull you through it, and you don't ever want to revisit it because it's painful. So don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to yourself. That's been my thing of the night. Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. Because I feel like the universe has this propelling sense to it, that it just kind of like puts you where you need to be. But the only way you can mess it up is if you get in the way of that. And that's why I've been saying don't do it. Because we can be our own, you know, like, not worst enemy, but I don't want to say worst enemy. I want to say we can be our own savior, I guess, and we can be our own demon, you know, or whatever, you know, or captor, I guess, you know. So don't allow yourself to kind of be out in these places like a fish out of, you know, like a fish out of water, you know, kind of out here with in living in kind of like an illusion state, to where you're kind of, that's that moon energy, being trapped in it, because we're going about it with the wrong way. And life wants us to watch. Like, we've probably been doing a lot of action, you know, because that's what comes natural to us. But life wants you to watch, and you can do that in nature. You can watch the cycles of, because I'm feeling like you guys need to get back in tune with with the rhythm of everything, because this is kind of like a Piscean energy, and I kind of feel like when you have this here, it's kind of where you kind of been floaty, you know, a little bit. And when you do that for so long, or you can be the other way around, when you work so long, you don't really, when you look up and all the work that you put into it, you don't really see, you know, the see that back. It kind of puts you in this thing to say, is it really worth it for me to go so hard? So either way, you know, did both of these two different dynamics. You might even go back and forth between both of them, but this is the way that you kind of can get yourself back in a loop. You have to look at nature and be in nature, and it'll make you kind of, you know, I think it'll do it subconsciously. It'll kind of make you kind of have to, you know, acknowledge the nature that is your life and you know. So yeah, and it's wanting you to have to be inspired, you know, to be inspired about the place that you're at in your life. The moon Virgo is a far, you know, you're up higher, and you're really delving into your spiritual work. You got the cosmic egg here, and the moon here. This is really delving into your darkest fears and things like that. So by this time, you really don't need any protection in that space, because you've already been through the worst that you possibly can. So don't take the fears with you, because you're trying to eradicate them, and they only magnify here, and they become your worst nightmare until you can you know, fix it, so you can stand up to it and not be scared, which is this energy of this Leo right here, or lion, where you're being, you know, and the elk too, I guess, where you're being persevering and courageous with the camel right there, you know. So yeah, a little bit goes a long way is what I'm kind of trying to say with the firefly. Ooh, what wants to come out? I think this too speaks to this moon card. You see the moon on here, but the hyena can sometimes be where we where we joke about. I feel like when we make jokes about ourselves that are not very kind. So that's a side note, but also too it can be a little bit of a tricky energy here too with the moon, because I feel like it may make you when you're sitting in this energy, I feel like it gives you like this illusion of things that may be harmful to you. And I'm talking about energetically, or for your body, or for what you're doing. So it's almost like you keep finding yourself in these situations of lack, because you it's like it's playing a trick on you. You keep going back in for more and more and more, and that kind of feels like relationship wise. It could be something like that, like where you kind of get in and you keep coming out like empty handed, and you know it happens when you get in this stage, and you try to run from maybe some of the deeper things, so you find an outlet, and when you find that outlet, you end up it ends up just making it a little bit worse after it's all said and done. So yeah, it's really just like right now, it's things in your life. It's time for your life to be kind of purified and kind of washed of your fears, but you have to be willing to kind of sit through whatever they tell you and they show you, because you have to show love to those parts of yourself too. Even though fears are things that we don't like to feel, they are sacred, you know, because it's igniting a certain part of us that's making us react. So we should be thankful and have gratitude that we can feel. So be kind to those feelings, even fear, like, because fear has a message too. It's trying to tell you something. It's trying, you know, even look what the next card here, what You got this, the lizard. So the lizard is here. Yeah, the lizard is like, this is instinctual. Like your feelings are a part of your instincts. They tell you what to do, and even though they're very, very subtle, and sometimes you kind of might not notice that they're always there guiding your every decision. So you can, so fear is our friend. It keeps us safe, but it can be a bit hyper vigilant depending on the angle at which it sees. And especially if you're dealing with this kind of energy right here, it goes into overdrive because it's really, really scary. So that is kind of the message that I have. All right, let me see here. I'm going to pull some advice cards. What do we have here? With self-reliance and measured patience, adversity will be overcome. See, you got this. And look, this is a moose. This is an elk. This is you. You got this. Like, you totally are stable and sturdy enough for the stage and place of your life that you're in to just be able to examine your fears and to be able to talk to your fears. Like, you're not gonna like fall apart if you take care of yourself in that kind of way to understand. So what does that look like? Because I believe that I'm kind of not saying it, and it's like talking to yourself in with a different type of language, in whatever way that may be, but not with the negative, hard, this has to be. Like, don't use those hard words, because life is already hard on you. So why complicate it more with your word choice for yourself, All right. Let me see, is there anything else here? Did I guess I kind of, oh, look, what is this here? Yeah. Jump over those fears. Yeah, move over the fears. It's saying that you can do it. And just keep a little bit of hope. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing. A little bit of hope goes a long way with the firefly. Like, just kind of like keep your head up, because I think as long as you look for it, you're gonna be able to feel it enough to get you to where you need to be. Yeah, because this is hold you back, and it's tricky energy. That is this moon energy with the 7 of swords. And then you're what it is that instead of seeing this as an opportunity, it feels like it's going to be a loss to take a break for yourself, to care for yourself in that way. And it's tricking you, because if you can go into the moon with this Ace of Wands energy, then look, you're jumping over it, like, I'm done with that phase, done with that. But when you go in feeling like this, then you're saying, I need something. So the moon just says, oh, Virgo needs that lesson, so let's send it to him, or to her. So don't let that be the thing that kind of gets you without you actually knowing that that's what's going on in your life. I'm gonna do something. I want to pull a card from the Moonology deck, even though it's not an animal deck. I just kind of, the moon, we talked about the moon so much, I was like, I guess that's why I wanted to do that. Don't let your pride get in the way. Yeah. Conclusions are within reach. You're right there. Prosperity lies ahead. It's right on the other side of your fears. I'm telling you that right there. With these two, you're right there. You see, like, it's almost so close you can touch with your path, your alignment. You see it. And yeah, this don't let your pride get in the way. Yeah, this is having to do particularly what I was saying, where some of us are kind of stuck in a state of where we're constantly doing and trying to prove more to ourselves why that's working when it's not. I think this is kind of talking about that. Don't let that keep you in this state, because with this 7 of swords, and that, it's like it makes you believe that you have a lot, and it's really deceiving you, or making you believe that you have either overcompensating, making you think you have more, or making you think you have less. But either way, it's kind of working. It's tricking you out right here. This is a lot of tricky energy. It's almost like your worst fears, like, having people turn their back on you, having people, being without, being, left with nothing, you know, people getting the best of you and leaving you with nothing. Those things keep reappearing because we're not looking at them objectively. We're looking at them through the lens of fear already, and we have to open ourselves back up to say, does that really scare me? Because I've been through it, so I already know if I get back in a situation again, then I'll figure it out. So, you know, we shouldn't be scared of it anymore because we already know what we'll do if it happens, you know? I mean, I went through flight attendant training, and we have to learn about, you know, what would happen if things went, you know, if things happened to the plane, what we would do. But I can't get on every plane, you know, with the mindset like it's going to happen today. It's going to happen today. That's no way to live. So it's not that it's not a fear. It's just not a reality yet until you make it one. And the more and more you make it, the more and more you make it one, the more and more you know, it manifests. So that's kind of the gist of all of this. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this reading, and let me know if it resonates down below, and I'll talk to you guys later.